day of the first discussion, and there were a lot of people throwing around terms that I'd never heard of before because I've never learned anything about economics. But I think that that's made it even more interesting for me because I've been able to learn things and see things in a new light that I've never been able to see before.
When you get into the readings, you realize how no matter how much you know, there's always more to know.
Even ideas that I may have been presented with before, I'm coming to see in a completely new light as we discuss them with a group of diverse students.
One of the greatest things about Koch Scholars is you have all these smart people who get together and who love to read and who love to learn. And so the relationships that you make through the program are incredible, and these are people that are really fun to associate with and to talk with.
I think a lot of people are unfamiliar with the ideology of individual liberty and economic freedom, and it's something that's valuable no matter what your beliefs are, to teach you to think beyond what you know.
Something that I didn't expect when I first started the program was how much the content in the discussion would really make me challenge what I had believed previous to being a part of the program.
I was expecting people to not necessarily disagree on like very basic fundamental things, and that I kind of thought that everybody thinks that, and then I get there and I find out like everybody doesn't necessarily think freedom means the same thing, you know?
I read the first book thinking, yeah, I really agree with what this author says. And everyone else that I was discussing it with was saying, well, the author had some good ideas, but he was wrong in this aspect and he was wrong in this aspect. So it was really refreshing to listen to like-minded students discuss what their thoughts were on what I had read.
I love reading the books and discussing the ideas, but for me the most fulfilling part is meeting other people in the program and hearing how they interpret the readings. Because technically I could read all of these things on my own, but the real value added comes when I hear other people's perspectives on the same things that I've read and see how one passage is interpreted completely differently by different people based on different life experiences. And so I feel like I learn a lot about other people, and hearing their experiences broadens my worldview, and then I'm able to approach ideas with a much broader perspective.
Discussing with other people is actually what I think is the best thing about Koch Scholars, because you get points of view that you wouldn't have thought of before. You have people from different backgrounds, whether they're going into math or economics or arts, it doesn't matter. They all have different viewpoints, and by talking to people from different backgrounds and seeing all these different viewpoints, it can change your own viewpoint, and even if it doesn't, it can at least help you to see the world in a different way.
I really like the Koch Scholars program because of the way it makes me think deeply about a wide range of ideas from a wide range of perspectives.
I would definitely recommend Koch Scholars to anyone who's considering applying, because I think it requires you to question your own beliefs. And I think that that is a really essential part of a good education, is to question your own beliefs.
I would recommend Koch Scholars to anyone who's truly looking for a challenging intellectual atmosphere and where they can share their ideas and thoughts and not be ashamed of what they believe and what they think. Something that surprised me was the lack of agenda from the professors and leaders. They really didn't try and define what the truth was. They just put the information out there, let people put ideas together, and let everyone take away from it what they would.
We had a professor, and he would say that if we've reached a conclusion, we've done it wrong. I thought that was really interesting because it's so true that economics and politics is very complex, and we're never all going to agree on it. But I've learned to respect a diversity of opinions and realize that lots of people come to different conclusions for very valid reasons. And just to be able to respect that diversity of opinion and to realize that we might not be able to completely come to conclusions, but the discussion is still worthwhile.
It'll force you out of your comfort zone. It'll force you to interact with people that are different, better, smarter than you. And really help mold you as a person, becoming more open to things you may not have been open to in the past, and provide opportunities to learn from some of the smartest professors and smartest people that I've ever interacted with.
Something I didn't expect about the Koch Scholar program was the diversity of students involved in the program, and how that is very different than the norm I found in the society around me and students in my coursework.
It really challenged me to evaluate my own ideas and my own thoughts, not just parrot information, but really think for myself and try to understand the world around me better.
It allows different people with different ideas to come together and to discuss. I've had my ideas challenged, and I've challenged others, and though my ideas haven't necessarily changed, I feel that my positions have become stronger because of the more balanced person that I am.
The Koch program has challenged a lot of my views and helped me to develop new views and think of things in ways that I didn't think of them before. It made me excited to learn the things that I'm learning in my classes. It made it more fun and just kind of opened things up to me so that it's not just the boring, like one-way kind of learning that you get in the classroom.
I would very much emphasize the opportunity to be exposed to things outside of the typical coursework of a university, as well as ideals that aren't necessarily present in the major that someone is pursuing.
Something that was really highlighted for me throughout the program was creating free market solutions to problems that we usually assign to the government.
I felt that government was the solution to a lot of our problems. And while I still think the government has a role, I've learned that a lot of times problems can be solved by the private market, and often more efficiently than if they were solved by the government.
One of the most striking things I've taken from Koch Scholars is that decisions seem to be better made by people like at a smaller level, on a more local level, because when you have big organizations or like big structures of anything, the people making the decisions are so removed from the actual environment.
We all grow up learning about the Founding Fathers and how wonderful of a nation we live in, but we don't always understand what hardships and things we go through to make sure that liberty is perpetuated.
People, though they are self-interested, aren't necessarily always going to be opportunistic, even though sometimes people are, that we have an innate empathy for other people, that we understand them and want to do good, even when it is not perfectly aligned with our self-interest.
I think Koch Scholars is a valuable experience because even if studying business or economics isn't your priority, the ideas presented in Koch Scholars help you to better understand the world around you and helps you to define, I guess, your personal understanding of that world.
Definitely take advantage of the opportunity to deepen your understanding of individual freedom and to just solidify your understanding through the discussions that you're able to have with other people and to understand others' views.
I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I had to participate in the Koch Scholar program this semester because of the level of interaction that I was able to have with professors and just the diversity of things we were able to talk about. It really opened my mind to a lot of new concepts and a lot of new issues that I hadn't really considered in that light before.
I would recommend Koch Scholars to anybody who seeks a deeper understanding of the world around them.
Perspective.
Mind-opening.
Understanding.
Educational.
Insightful.
Defiant.
Enriching.
Informative.
Engaging.
Intellectually challenging.
Provocative.
Enlightening.